Hey guys, welcome to this Build with React series. In this video, we will be creating this type of modal, or you can say pop-up, which can showcase any type of video form on any element as a modal. We won't be using any kind of third-party packages and other things. And in the next videos, we will be creating this kind of connecting responsive blocks and so much more. So be connected. The source code of all the videos will be given in the description. You can check out the GitHub repository link. In order to get started with React, you can just create a new React app using the create React app command, or else you can use the new React.js, but I am using Next.js. You don't actually have to worry. You can use Code Sandbox as well. My basic app is set up. Let's fire up the terminal using npm run dev. The server has started on localhost 3000 and you can see the display is blank currently. And when I just add something, just as an example, hi, this button should show up. Let's just split the screen in half. Let's create a new component named Modal.js, React arrow functional snippet, and let's just get rid of this. Use React fragments instead, and let's import use state. We will be needing that. And let's create modal.css. We won't be using module CSS just because they are complex to use inside this, but that you should use in production. We will be just having a simple overview. That's why we won't be using module CSS. So let's just come back to modal.js and import this. Import /slides/ what is the name, modal.css. Give a line spacing. Here first we will be needing a button. Let's give a button name. Class name should be button, and the pointer. For now, give it a title. Just name it title. And in order to display this, we have to actually import this thing. This is the index.js. Let's import the modal from where is it? Outside these pages and components. So ./component/modal.js. No need to write JS actually. And global CSS cannot be imported from files other than your custom app. I believe we don't actually have to import this. I was just showing it for demo purposes. So let's show up the modal. Okay, great. Let's just collapse this one right now. Now let's create some states. Const, let's name it toggle, set toggle is equal to use state false. Initially the toggling will be set to false. We have to create a function that will do the toggle. Name it toggle modal, and this should be an arrow function. And let's use this set toggle function, and whatever the toggle is, just reverse this. When any user just clicks on the button, execute the toggle modal function. On click, toggle modal. After this button, here comes the checking. If toggle is set to true, then return this. There will be something, and if this is not true, then we will return null. You can also use and you won't need null, but that's not a good practice. So I will just keep this, and let's first return a div. Inside this main div, we will have two separate divs. One will be the overlay, the shadow, actual shadow. Let me just show you a demo. Let's give it a name, div.overlay. the class name is overlay, and this won't have any content. We will be just using simple CSS to give it a background color. And when someone clicks on the overlay, the modal should close. So we will use the same thing, the same on click. And now here comes the modal content. So we will give it name modal underscore content. We will have the children. It will eventually be needed to pass the children inside this modal component. And let's create the close button. For that I will create a button, and the button content will be X, or the cross button. Actually you can use SVG as well, but for simplicity I will just keep that. And when someone clicks on the cross button, the modal should also close. So let's use this same thing again, give proper spacing, and let's give it a class name for styling later, close modal. Let's come to the modal CSS. Remember, the classes are globally being applied, so we are not using module CSS. Now let's start with this. Let's split it up again. I think we give overlay class here. The overlay's background color should be almost 00000. So this is complete black. And now to give some opacity, I will give it 80% of opacity. Now the overlay should contain the whole screen, so for that we will have to give it height of 100 and width of 100 VW. And the positioning should be top 0, bottom 0, left 0, right 0. This will make sure the overlay fills up the whole screen, and the position shall be fixed. Now let's comes the modal content. Let me show you this thing right now. When we click on this pop-up, this is the modal content inside this box. This is the close button, and the thing behind, which is kind of blurry. You can see when I click outside, this thing becomes more visible. When I click on the modal button, the overlay becomes kind of blurry. So this is the blurriness, the background color, and this takes up the whole screen. And now we are about to design this modal content. So let's split up again. What was the class name again? Modal content. Modal content. The background color for this modal content should be anything you want, but I will prefer keeping it white. Height shall be auto. Position, keep it absolute, and width to be auto again. And minimum width, we need minimum width of at least 250 pixels. Maximum width should be 80% for desktop, and for mobile devices we will keep it probably around 90%. We will see about that later. So let's do the positioning for this modal content. 50%. Now the position absolute comes to the play. Let me just reposition it. Now giving it the position 50% and 50%. 50% from the top and 50% from the left, so it becomes kind of in the middle, but we have to actually bring it to completely middle. So for that we have to transform it 50% to top and left. We will do transform translate minus 50% and again minus 50%. Give the modal contents a padding of, let's say, 20 pixels and 10 pixels. border radius of, let's say, 10 pixels, and some box shadow. Let me just do it by showing. I will come to the index.js and let's not make it self-closing. Instead, let's put something. Testing. So this is not passing. Let me see. Okay, we have to actually receive that here, the children. And let's make this title dynamic as well. So for that we will do modal title. We actually have to pass this as well, and let's receive it. And now let's name it like modal button. Let's see if this shows up or not. Okay, when we click this, you can see this is the thing, but this is not actually styled. We have to style it. Let's zoom in a bit. When we click on this X, this just hides itself. When we again click on the button, it shows up. Let's just do some basic styling, giving the box shadow 5px, 5px, 5px and 10px, and the color shall be 0, 0, 0, and the opacity should be 0.4. Let's see how it is. Oh, it is not showing up currently. Let's see what is the problem. So currently the CSS is not being applied, I believe. Okay, we have to actually move this to the global CSS, or else we have to use the modules or something else like Tailwind. So this is how this works currently, and let's test this out. When we click on the overlay, this pop-up closes. Again, click on the button, and when we click on this cross button, this closes as well. We have to style this cross button and other things as well. The button, we have to style this close button, the box shadow, and this click button as well. So let's go ahead. Let me close the modal.css and collapse this one. Where is this? The box shadow is looking a bit odd, so I will decrease the opacity for the color and just spread the color more. Yeah, 20 pixels is fine. Let me zoom out just a bit. And now it's time to style this close button. This is named close_modal. Let's color it totally black. Background color should be totally black, and this text color should be white. Give the width as auto, and let's give the aspect ratio of height and width to 1. Now when we apply this border radius, nothing will just get wrong. Give it border radius of 50% and font weight of bold. I believe we have this font. I don't know what font is being applied, but let's go with Poppins. Let's choose something else and replace this with Poppins. And now it's time to do position absolute to make it position absolutely, and we have to keep it to the right. So top should be 0 and right should be 0 as well. So it should go there, and we have to keep it to more right. So for that we have to translate this. Let's again use this transform property and then translate how much, 50% to the top and 50% to the right. Yeah. Let me just disable the aspect ratio and see how this works. Probably I have to just decrease the font size, make it 0.4 rem. Let's see. No, that is too short. 0.7 I need to give some padding as well. Padding 0 and 4 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, this is looking great. Great. And when we hover over this is cursor pointer by default. When we click on this closes. Now this is about a single modal, but we want to create, let's suppose, multiple modals, and this one shall be YouTube video, and the name of this will be YouTube, and we will use a actual YouTube embed here. So for that I will open up our old tutorial. Let's open a random video of ours, let's say this latest video, and click on this copy embed code. And instead of this, let me show you how this is showing right now. This is just showing YouTube. Let me just comment this first one out. We can actually style these buttons, but that is not our concern for this video. When we click on this YouTube paragraph is showing up, but instead we want this iframe to show up. But you can see this is not responsive at all. Now as we are moving towards the video should be responsive in any kind of device. For that we will have to do some tweak to our modal component. For that we will create a new state called sizing and set sizing function, and initially the state will be an object containing the width and the height 190, and the height should be 0. Don't bother about this, but we will be actually changing this. Now let's import use effect as well, and here use effect. The dependency array you can change on screen size changing, but we will just not make that very complex. So when the actual screen loads up, the use effect will run. This will check for the window size and set the window size to this sizing. So for that we will use this set sizing function, and inside the object we will again do this. Width will be window dot inner width. If this one is more than 640, then window dot inner width will be divided by, let's say, 2. And if this is not the case, then whatever the inner width is, we will divide it by 1.1 and set it to the width. If the width is more than 640, then we can consider it as a laptop or a PC. Then the width of this video should be kind of like 50% or something. And if this is mobile, then the width should be less than 640. Then in that case we won't be actually reducing size of the model. So let's repeat the same with the height, but this will be kind of indifferent. Window dot inner height, if this is more than 640, then window dot inner height should be multiplied with 0.5 or 4. Or else for mobile devices we will multiply this inner height with 0.5. Using this use effect will actually make our pop-up or modal responsive according to the screen sizes. Now if we won't be using this iframe again and again for every video, so you can just cut this from here, and instead of children we will simply pass this iframe here, and here the width and height are automatically set. So we will use our sizing, this sizing, and for width we will use sizing.w, and for height we will use sizing.h. Let's do this sizing.w. Let's copy the same thing and just replace w with h. If you want, for each and every video this part will be same, and this ID will be different. So what we will do, we will make this another variable. Let's name is video ID and make it template literal. For that I will have to use this backtick and backtick, and we will have to wrap this inside braces. And how will the video ID be given to us? We will receive it from here. Okay, not that way, video ID, and we will receive video ID as the video ID. Actually this ID will be received to this model, and then this will be replaced with this actual video ID. And now we don't need the children anymore. Let's see, let's refresh this. So now when we click on this, okay, it should be a bit more smaller. Let's divide it by 1.8. So for this kind of devices we will actually have to increase it by 2. Let's divide this. So the video sizing will still need to be reduced, so we can try it with more number like 1.4. let's see. Okay, this is great. And let's multiply the height with less of a number, so the height will be reduced. Let's see, this is working just fine. We actually have to reduce some of the padding. So let's come to this. Where is the padding? 20 pixels. Let's make it 2 pixels. Let's see how much. 2 pixels, and the whole should be 2 pixels. Let's see. Okay, 2 pixels is too less. And we can do another thing. We can just simply apply styling to the iframe. Let's see, style, and inside that border radius to 4 pixels. Will that even apply? Yeah, this is applying. So let's make it 8 pixels. Yeah, this is just looking great, just great. When we click on the close button, this closes up. When we click on this video loads up. This actually plays. When we click outside, this actually quits. We can also make this title dynamic. For that we will actually have to make the modal title like the video title. How to visualize, and let's give ... and we can simply use this title as our video title. Like this won't even matter, but let's make this dynamic. What was the name? Modal title. Let's copy this and paste here. One more thing left. This is the actual button for this one. We can also style this up. For that, this is the name of the button pointer. Let's make the name more obvious. Popup _ pointer, and let's style this up. Padding of 10 pixels and 5 pixels. Background color salmon. This is taking some shape. Font size 0.7 rem. Okay, font weight bold. Border radius 8 pixels, and color should be white. Let's see how this turns out. Okay, the padding should be like 7 and 15 pixels. Let's see how this is. Okay, great. Now when we click on this video pops up. When we click outside, this closes. When we again click on this, we can also close this with the overlay, clicking on the overlay or this close button or something. So this is how you create a modal or a pop-up in React.js without using any kind of third-party packages. If you like this tutorial, make sure to like this video and subscribe, and don't forget to follow this series for upcoming videos. I am Somo, signing off.